Welcome everyone to 12.3 Z Schools 20.31. Today we're going to talk about calendar scheduling. And of course, this is kind of a big, broad topic, and it all depends on your own internal processes, what you use for a calendar, who's allowed to put things on your calendar, whether or not you put personal things on your calendar, because we all keep personal and private lives. I'm going to mostly focus on a feature called calendar booking within CRM, but we're going to talk about some other approaches too. And the idea is that you can actually let your customers book time with you, put things on your calendar for you. Of course, the idea is that, without this feature, customers might say, what's your schedule look like this week? And then you tell them what's free. And then a day later, they say, give me Tuesday afternoon, but you've already booked Tuesday afternoon. And you go back and forth and go, well, what's another good date? And you're never you spend a lot of time just kind of settling on a date. So most of us keep calendars in the cloud. Why not at least make the free busy part of it available? Let people pick a time. So we're going to talk about scheduling your time a little bit. Hope everybody sees our screen number 2 here. This is our demo Zoho system, which is not set up at all. So I'm going to start right from the top. Before you can make booking possible, you have to tell the system like what time zone you're in, what your work hours are, what your holidays are. So I'm going to show you all that basic stuff. First, we should start at the very top, which is Zoho One. Your administrator should go into the Zoho One admin panel. Again, this is a 2-user demo system. This is not our production system. And there's a few things about the organization that you can put in here. Mostly I have here in the organization that we are on Eastern Daylight Time. We use English. These times, I believe, are called Olsen times. They're standard. There's more than 24 time zones in the world. As we all know, some states don't do daylight savings time. Some counties might even go off by a half an hour. India is a half hour. The time, I think India right now is 10 and a half hours different from us. They're not all at the same time. So just organizationally, your owner of the organization should set this. This does not mean it propagates across all Zoho apps. For instance, I'm going to go into CRM now. I'm in setup. And we're going to go up here to company details. By the way, if you have questions, I haven't muted everybody. A lot of you have self-muted. We are recording. Maybe I will mute everybody. If you want to ask a question, just throw it in chat. We'll have time at the end of this for discussion. So under company details, you'll see that CRM is set up for Pacific Daylight Time. That's kind of a default in Zoho. I believe this works for the Zoho people because they're in Pleasanton, California. So every time they spin up a system, it's already defaulted to them. Doesn't work for us on the East Coast. So there's all the time zones, what I call Olsen time, and you'll see we are right now 5 hours behind, but you'll see that Merida, Mexico is slightly different. That's central, sorry. Let's go down to 4s. There's lots of Eastern Daylight Time, and those like Indiana, Winnemac County, Vincennes County, they're all different. I find what works for the bulk of the East Coast is America, New York. And again, we're coming up on going back to Eastern Standard Time. This will manage all that for you. So set your time zone, and that's where you do it, is on company details under setup. Then there's some other things here. There is business hours. And so we should set these up because we don't want someone booking us at 3 in the morning. So you can pick custom hours. They do have 24/7, 24/5. We will pick custom hours. Work starts on a Monday. We work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're blocking off Saturdays and Sundays. And we have right now 9 a.m. to 5. So there's a real simple way to do it. I could say, you know what, we'll book 9:30 to 5. And we can have different hours, like we only work half days on Fridays. I can go in here and set Friday to that. So we're just kind of rough outlining it, and I think we'll do it this way for our demo. And then you can have shifts. So I don't know if I'll go into this today, but you could have an afternoon shift that works 4 to 12. And we can actually put some of our users on the afternoon shift. So if someone wants to book time with somebody at 7 o'clock, we'll know that that person works that shift. But I think we'll just leave, the company's open 9 to 5. And then finally, you should put in your holidays. You don't want someone to book Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day. So I'll pick Christmas so I don't have to look up the date. It is December 25th, 2020. You're going to make me do it, right? There's Christmas. We can also add so someone goes in, this is corporate wide, this is not personal, but it's the last Thursday. So we have some holidays in here. And you'll actually see if I come into a contact here, I'm just going to manually book a meeting with someone. I'll go to a contact. I'll go to Nancy Kerrigan here. I will schedule a meeting. And you'll see if I try to schedule it for Saturday, it tells me the selected time does not fall within business hours. If I try to schedule it for Christmas Day, it tells me there's a holiday for Homer. Again, you can have holidays for certain people too. So I think we're coming up on Yom Kippur. No, we just had that. Sorry, last month. Anyway, you can have different holidays for different groups if you have a large organization. This person is off that day. So we're now we've told the system that there's the hours we work, here's the days of the week we work, here's our holiday list, here's our time zone. So now we can schedule for ourselves and for each other. Zoho does have a little calendar in it. And, if I look at my week, this is my week. This is kind of a crude calendar. I don't really know a lot of people that use the Zoho calendar. I'm hoping someday they kind of clean this up a little bit. I can also see what my coworkers are up to, look at all users and see if they have anything going on this week. Nobody does. It's a demo system. So last thing I'll say about calendars before showing you the specific feature is if you can go into the setup, and if you want to integrate this with a calendar you do use, go down to Marketplace. The two big calendars that I see are Google. That's what we use. And if I go to Google, there's Google Calendar integration right here. You just have to link your Zoho account with your Google account. Now you have to authenticate it and give Zoho permission to put stuff on Google. I'm not going to do that. I don't have a Google account that I can play with. And then the other one is Microsoft Outlook Calendar. A lot of people use that. Again, there's some differences here. There's Outlook 365. If you're on the subscription, you can do meetings and tasks, right? Your calendar in Outlook and in Google is split into meetings, which have a time, and tasks are more of a to-do list. They don't have times on them. And Zoho allows you in Zoho to schedule meetings and tasks. So that's meetings go to Outlook meetings and tasks go to Outlook tasks. You just enable it. And again, you associate your Outlook account. Now, if you don't have Office 365, if you have the installed version of plugin, you can download this plugin, but they're doing away with it. We'll talk about that, I think, another time. There is an online add in. But this Outlook plugin's a little bit old. You see, it only goes up to Outlook 2016, not the 2019. But this was something you actually installed on a Windows machine or a Mac machine. You had to come in here. Because it gets installed, you have to tell it if you're on a 32 or 64-bit machine. You're back to installing software, which to me is the whole beauty of Zoho is it's browser-based. But anyway, we can integrate your Zoho with your calendar, Outlook, or Google. You can do it yourself. We can help you. What I do want to show you now is the the calendar booking feature. We're going to go to the calendar here. It's very hidden, very hard to find. So I'm going to go a little bit slow here just so you can reproduce the steps. Go to your calendar. They give you a little pop-up calendar here, but this is not your calendar. You actually have to pick a day, week, or month view. Doesn't matter. I'll pick the day view. And then you will be in the calendar. Now you're in the calendar. And up here under options, at the bottom is calendar booking. So we'll select that. And there's a whole bunch of choices here. You can either book yourself or your team. Customers might want to talk to somebody on the support team, or they might want to book an hour with the legal team. And we can just assign it to whoever's working on that shift on that day. Or I want to book it with just this person. I want this person. So I'm going to create a calendar booking for Homer. His name's Homer. And so we're going to go through some options here. They'll make sense to you, but it's going to create a meeting on our calendar. Now, the default meeting duration is 30 minutes. We used to offer people a choice. They could book a 30-minute meeting with us or a 60-minute meeting with us. Most people thought they only needed 30, but the meetings went long anyway. They went to 60. So we did away with the 30-minute meeting. So I'm going to make this a 60-minute meeting. I can make it something else. And we can ask them for some questions here. This data is actually being populated into some pre-existing fields. So we're asking them for their name, and the name is going to go into the title of the meeting, and then the email is going to go in the participants. If I want to say, give me a phone number to call. I have to put that somewhere in here. I'll put it in the location field, and we'll make it optional. In other words, they don't have to put it in. Actually, I'll make it mandatory. And we could add another question. What is the topic? So you can't add a whole bunch of questions. If you wanted to ask 50 questions, I would say use a web form. But you'll understand this when we get it going. I'll put this in the description field, which is really all that's left to us. We'll make that optional, just to show you the difference. So now we're asking 4 things. What's your name? What's your email? What phone number do I call? What are we talking about? And I can show my availability in increments of 30 minutes. That just means they can't book a meeting for 9:17. They got to book it at 9 or 9:30 or 10. And we prevent meetings from scheduling less than 4 hours away. In other words, someone can't get on and book a meeting for the 2 minutes from now. And they can only book for 60 rolling days. In other words, I don't want anybody booking me in 2025. Only this month and next month kind of thing. And then I can have a buffer between meetings, give me 10 minutes between every hour meeting. Otherwise, if I don't have a buffer, someone could book 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'll never get lunch. I'll never get to go to the bathroom. So you might want to have a little bit of buffer time. Put 5 minutes. This will be a little weird. With 60-minute meetings, if I give myself a 5-minute buffer, I'm going to have like 55 dead minutes, right? Because I'm only allowing, or 25 dead minutes. Because if somebody books a 9 o'clock meeting, that'll end at 10. That means no one can book at 10. They could book at 10:05, but I'm only allowing them to book on the 30s or the zeros. So you have to think about your math a little bit. And then they get an email 30 minutes before the event saying, hey, you booked time. So you just have all these things about how you want to work, how much time you want to spend, how much time you want to prep, how much, you know, time buffer, and how far out can people schedule, things like that. So we'll save it. And so this thing has been created, and I have some options, and that can be turned on. So I could create a second one for a 2-hour meeting, or for, you know, book me for a week kind of thing, or team bookings as well. So now I'm going to go to the 3 dots here, and you're going to actually see there's a thing called copy link. What Zoho just did is they created a website for you. I'm going to actually click on copy link, and that copied this website link. I'm going to open up a new tab, and this is what people will see. Control V is this really long Zoho CRM booking, 60-minute meeting, and then a long line. But let's go to the website. And this is what customers would see if you gave them this link. Is here's Homer's schedule for today, and today we only have 3:30 and 4, because these are 1-hour meetings, and 4 will end at 5. And I also said, give me 4 hours out. So they can't book at noon today, because that's not enough time. Tomorrow we have all these slots open. Saturday and Sunday are off. If I go way out to, I don't know if I can get to Thanksgiving here. That was the 26th. See, Thanksgiving's off. Thursday is off, because we told it the holiday is off. So all these parts are working together. Let's go back to today. Let's book 3:30. I'm just a user now. We get a meeting here Thursday at October 8th, and I have to put in a name. Fred Sanford. I'll actually do Jeff plus Fred at Zoho3.com. The phone number is 123-456-7890, and the topic, let's talk about Zoho. And it's asking, it's a little CAPTCHA thing here just to make sure the person's not a robot. Not hard. I don't know if you can turn that off, but I am a robot. Sometimes I have trouble with these. So the appointment's confirmed. And I just got an email on my phone. Let me see if I can pull my email up over here. Nope, that's not it. There it is. So I got in my Gmail, I got a confirmed 60-minute meeting with Homer, 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time today. And where's my notes? Must be in CRM. So go to CRM. I'll look at my calendar for today. And I have this meeting. It did not create Fred. I don't believe it created Fred. We'll look at leads and contacts. So I cannot see, it's not related to a contact, a lead, a company, or an opportunity. If that person's email was in the database, it would have linked it to him, but it does not create Homer, because Homer's kind of an empty record. We don't know anything more about him than his name. I'm sorry, not Homer, Fred, and his email address. We could write code, though, that would add that person to the database if you really wanted him added. But this is on this meeting, and if I had set up my Google and Outlook integration, the meeting would also be on Google and Outlook. And so that's how customers book time with you. The reason I went through this whole setup was, before you set this up, you want to block off your hours, set your work hours, set your work days, set your holidays. And now people can put things on your calendar. if I go back to this calendar booking, I can edit this and change my rules in case I don't like what I did. Sorry. Another thing I can do is I can actually add this to my email signature. Now, this is only going to add it to your Zoho email signature. Real quickly, I'll show you where that is. That's for only when you use Zoho to send mail. Just to review that real quickly, if I'm on a contact, say I'm on Joe Broker here, I can send email right from here. And I'm not using my Gmail or my Outlook. I'm using Zoho's mail server. That has to be set up, and I think we have set that up. Or we've had sessions to show you how to set that up. But Zoho has to be, you have to tell it like who you are and what your email address is. They will send on your behalf. You also have to let the world know that Zoho is allowed to send mail as you, because that's a big thing of spammers, right? They tell you there's somebody they're not. So we went on a whole session of that. But if I go into Zoho and I go to my setup personal settings, every user can have a signature block here. And you can go in here, you can do text, you can also do HTML, you can put in pictures, and there's HTML right here. We can help you with this. I will just say, book some time with Homer. And let me close this. I'm just going to duplicate this. It's easiest if I have two CRMs up. So I'm going to go to the calendar, open up the calendar. I'm just repeating myself because this is really hard to find. Options, calendar booking. And I'm going to copy the link. Now the link to this long website is on my clipboard. So when I come over here, I can make this be a web link, and the URL is that long thing. That's my signature now. And again, you would do this in your signature for Outlook or Gmail, and people would just click on it. They're given that site, and they see that when you're free and when you're busy, and they book time with you. We make a lot of use of this in our business. People want an hour, and they don't have to ask me when I'm free. It's in every email I send in CRM. I'll just compose an email here. Here's my Gmail. It's a mess. But right here, my calendar is a link in my system. And you click on that, and my calendar comes up for you. So the next thing I want to, does anybody have any questions about that, or chat them real quick? I hope I went over that pretty quick or pretty well. Tell Zoho all about your time zone, the days you work, the hours you want to make yourself available, how much notice you want. Create that link, embed the link in all your communications, put it on your website. If anybody clicks on this, it takes them to a pretty nice website, and they pick time. Requires you to keep your holidays and so forth in the system, but you probably ought to keep it somewhere anyway. So the next thing I want to talk about is there's a whole level up from this. If you're on Zoho 1, I think all of you are, we can set that up. There's a whole app. This is more for, well, it's called Zoho Bookings, and it allows you to actually take payment for this hour. So say you're a hairdresser or a lawyer, and you don't want people to just book time with you, but you want a credit card. So Zoho has an app for that. It's part of Zoho 1. So I'll quickly show that to you. It's because of the payment gateways and stuff, there's a lot more setup involved, but you have it, and I want to make you aware of it. So we go to Zoho applications. Let's see if we turn bookings on. I'm in the Zoho One Admin Center, and we have not turned bookings on. There's Books, which is their accounting package. We're going to add an application, and there's Zoho Bookings, appointment creation software. Looks like Homer already built one, so we're going to just add the existing one into our Zoho One. I think what I'm going to do is just show you ours. We don't really use it. We just don't demand payment up front. But I am going to go into bookings.zoho.com. On this browser, I'm logged in as Jeff at 12.3. I'll show you some of the things we've set up. We've played with it. We don't dislike it. It just isn't. We're happy with what we have. It's in all our signatures. It's inertia. It's books. Sorry. Hold on. I don't want that. Books and bookings. There are a lot of apps. They start to sound and look the same. This is Zoho Bookings. I didn't mean for this to take so long. I was just in it yesterday to make sure it was running for today's demo, so we have a chat. When I checked Zoho Bookings, didn't work with Outlook 365, so I went with Calendly. Well, if this ever comes up, while I'm waiting for the real one to come up, let's see if I can get the one on our demo system to come up. So Zoho Bookings been around maybe a year, and I was on the early access, the beta team for it, and it wasn't that good. So we decided to stay with calendar booking because it works really well for us. We were on Calendly before that, Chet. I had to write a lot of custom code to attach that thing with my Zoho contact or lead, because Calendly doesn't do that. And now Calendly does. Calendly came out when we first signed up with Calendly, they didn't have that either. So tell us about your business. Homer's Coffee Shop. So you see they have different kinds. We'll say it's professional consultation. Pick your hours you're available, the days of the week. Once again, we're just kind of setting up the system. I don't know if I want to run through all this, but we can have one-on-one. You can sign up for a class. You can actually book a piece of equipment. So 60-minute consult. And it lasts 60 minutes. I guess that's 1 hour. Anyway, let me try to get this bookings on our setup. We have 5 people. We have Zoho Consults. We have Act and Goldmine and QuoteWorks. And we have different people who have different strengths in the company. So I don't want to have someone request, say, a Goldmine consult and get Stephen. It should go to Bob. But we have multiple Zoho people. So you can actually have different staff, different people. Finally, this is my bookings. This is my calendar, and I'm actually mixing CRM calendar and Google Calendar. I can link lots of calendars together. I'm also just looking at Jeff, but I can, when this comes up, I can pick someone else, or I can look at the whole team. So I can look at Bob's calendar. This is very slow at the moment. I don't know why. In the settings here, just to show you kind of quickly, there's a payment gateway here. You can use Stripe, PayPal, a lot of the common ones here. And so people can actually, I can enable payment. I can also say an hour is X amount of dollars and people have to pay up front. So you can do that. And if you're like a hairdresser or something, you can. Up here is where I set my staff. And I can pick their working hours. You know, maybe Bob likes to work second shift. I can go under them and I can pick what services, like this is Cameron here, and I can say he's allowed to do Google services, other, and Zoho, but not Act, not Goldmine. So if somebody asks for Act time, they won't get Cameron, they'll get someone, but I can assign them other services. So you can pick your people, pick the products, the time services you want to sell, and you can collect payment. So that's Zoho Bookings. Same concept, but kind of taken a level up. And as long as I'm in Bookings here, let me go back to integrations here. Calendars. Google Calendar, Zoho. There's Outlook 365 here. Oh, it's new. See that, Chet? It's new. So 365 is wasn't there when you looked, and it is now. You might want to come back and try this again. Calendly is $8 a month for one user. So it's costing you $96 a year. And this is free part of your Zoho One. So it's worth looking at. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. We'll take some questions or comments if anybody has them. Thanks for watching.